Okay, hey, it's Ray Rose at the Five Eye Vision channel, and this is like the second time I'm doing this because for some reason my recording stopped. You may hear my grandmother, dogs, and yard work outside, but that's because that's just what it is today. But anyways, today's video is about how there is no friend zone. You're just being a bit delusional and picking a partner. Okay, so the first thing I would like to talk about when I speak on the friend zone is that it's okay to be a woman's friend. A lot of guys out there are the type to think that women and men can't be friends. You can never be completely platonic, things like that. And I'd like to say, for the most part, it's a bunch of old dudes saying that. I mean, just to be frank, they definitely came from a different time, and they deal with much older women who, like, I'm talking about like the 30 to like 30 plus, let's go 35 plus and up range, you know. And I understand younger women can definitely be more of a handful than older women, but the key difference is those older women are acting like younger women much more often these days than in the past. So I feel like a lot of those guys are just jaded by having their dating pool essentially being the same, like from 20 up to like 50. So that's just them. But for guys in my age range, the 18 to 25, 30 age range, I don't think girls are really that bad. Now, one thing I will say, of which I do agree with red pillars and the like, you definitely should not be friends with a girl and then hold out expecting for sex. Don't be listening to her stories thinking it's going to get you closer and everything like that. And learn her talk to you about other guys thinking you'll have a chance to prove yourself or what. No, because you're not really friends with her. You were trying to use her and you were trying to hope for consent and everything like that. It's creepy as fuck. Just don't do that. But I I do believe the friend zone is not real. And one of the reasons I don't believe it's real, for one, I really hate the negative connotations we're starting to put on people for these kinds of things. Like nice guy. To be nice is to be a good person. Period. Yeah, we stop calling liars and people trying to abuse other people nice guys. Like they're sleuths. They're liars. Okay, they're swindlers. That's what you should call them. Stop calling them nice guys. Like that's just weird as hell. Why are you trying to take a good connotation for somebody and make it negative? Same thing with friend zones. We need our friends. Being a friend to someone is good. It means you got trust in this person to the point where you're beyond acquaintances. You genuinely care about this person and they're an important part in your life at that moment and hopefully forever. So I hate when you use this concept of friend zone. You're basically trying to isolate people, and for the most part, friend zone relates to men and women. Well, I mean, not men and women, just people who can be romantically and sexually attracted to each other in general. But another thing is, it's really ironic. These guys love to say things like the society places women in power and everything. You need to take the red pill to get away from that. But inherently, when they talk about friend zone, they're talking about the woman putting the man in the zone of friend. So you're basically giving the woman more power because you're saying she directly dictates the whole relationship. And I know they're a bit more, they have more of a say in the matter when it comes to sexual relationships, but I mean, don't you guys also teach that when you get like pretty aggressive with a woman who's attracted to you, she's gonna really kind of want to give it to you. You know how that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't like this methodology, this train of thought about uh being friends with the girls you're attracted to. It's just too much back and forth. But like I said, you definitely, if you're gonna be friends with a girl, you need to be friends with a girl. Anything that can happen, but do not be friends with a girl hoping that you're going to get laid out of it, and do not listen to her stories and everything like that. Got that out the way. Now, one thing I will say is, another reason I don't think the friend zone is real, and it's just stupid to think that you could have sex with a girl, right? But if you're not really trying to be in a relationship, or whatever, you're doing a friends with benefits thing, but you're cool and you're still friends, she's going to tell you about the guy she has sex with and the guy she sees anyway. It doesn't matter if you have sex with her or not, because women love to share stories and women like attention, so you're gonna get it anyways. That's nice. Um, I've had relationships with women sometimes, and I mean, it's the same thing. Even if I don't have sex with them, they'll tell me about these guys. If I do, they'll tell me. I don't really feel much of a difference. The only difference is the sexual attraction and, the romantic feelings that may come about. But to be quite honest, nothing much is different. When guys keep thinking of this friend zone, like, you gotta really stop thinking of it like it's this danger zone. It's this dungeon that you're in only because you want to have sex with this girl. It's not that serious, okay? It's not that fucking serious. Do you want to be friends with her or not? The way I would like to tell guys to look at it like this. Um, would you have sex with her? If yes, do you really want to try? Most guys really kind of don't want to try. They like most of their friends they would, but they don't want to try. And like, are they in the friend zone? Even when you do get to have sex, if you're not looking for a relationship with her, aren't you just putting her in the friend zone? It's like an endless cycle of like sin, of just like lust and greed and envy and jealousy. It's too, I don't know. It's just kind of done to me. Um, and I also think what a lot of guys are trying to get through to a lot of guys is to stop being friends with women. And I also say to that again, maybe you just need to choose better friends. All the women friends I've had been pretty decent, and yeah, I mean, I would have liked to have relationships, uh, in relations with those women. Yeah, of course, because I mean, I like attractive women, and I just like to be friends with attractive women. But at the same time, I'm not losing sleep over lost opportunity anymore. I did when I was a teenager, but as I grew older, I realized you can't get a girl pregnant off of being a friend with her. You can't get no STDs pregnant. There's more risk having a sexual relationship. You need to understand that. When you have sexual relations with women, it's a risk. You could lose your life. You know, Girl could go crazy over you and try to run you over with her car. You know what I'm saying? You don't get those kind of issues when you're friends with a woman. So I really don't understand why there's this perception that it's so much better to have sex with a woman than be friends. Because hey, listen, I'm not going to get in the way of the player playing his game, but it is a fact. It is much safer to be friends with a woman than to have just random intercourse. You know what I'm saying? If you're friends with a girl, you were just friends with a girl, and if she's using, and also, yeah, we have to really see, like, are you really being used, or is she just being a girl, just getting your attention, just having fun talking? Women love to talk, and women love to share stories. Women love to gossip. That's what they do. To me, I've always found that very entertaining because, for one, I get to really understand what women are thinking, how they think, like, how they think. Why do they do the things they do? Why do they think? I've given plenty of advice to women in relationships, and it's giving me a lot of insight. That's why with my fiance, I was able just to make things snap and pop off. Like, I was able to really know who she was, like, fairly quickly. Well, not necessarily who she was, but kind of her nature. It was easy for me to catch on because I took my experience of being a guy friend to a lot of girls and just letting them tell me all the things that they tell me. Because being friends with women, when it comes to understanding women, is very, very good for your experience. The red pill, for some reason, doesn't think this is good, and they don't preach that. Because it's just like, how are you really going to understand women if everything you say about women is from the outside looking in? And I do know women do expose themselves a lot, but there's nothing wrong with having female friends, and there's nothing wrong with just letting them be open to you and expressing themselves to you. If you want to take it further, then yes, you're going to have to man up, and you're going to have to let that be known. And if you are rejected, you're rejected. But I mean, whatever you want to do afterwards, because I've had rejections before. And I was like, okay, well, cool, but I still think you're a cool person. Because, you gotta be fluid. You gotta be more fluid. That's why a lot of guys are in that quote-unquote incel territory. That's why a lot of guys are just doing freaking bad. And girls, too. when it comes to your relationships because you're too freaking stringent. You think people act one way when it's not like that. They have pathways. Like most people do act in a certain way, but since we're all individuals, we're all going to react to you differently. Even if it's extremely similar, something is always going to be different. Okay? And you should just choose better. Like for me, personally, I was the kind of person that if I was going to pursue intimate relations with a girl, it has to be with a girl that I like, that I can chill with, that I can talk to, all these other things. Because as I said before, there's risk that is involved with having sexual relations. I don't know if I'm saying that like that. Sex. There's risk with that. I did not want to really have sex with a lot of girls I wouldn't really have a kid with, or I couldn't tolerate, because I'm just the kind of person where it's just like, even if I don't commit, if I had a kid with her, I would still like to have a relationship still, so at least the kid knows we're on good equal grounding, so he doesn't grow up, traumatized from that, So like all the girls I've been with, they're girls that I could still be cool with, I could still, no drama, nothing like that. Because also at the same, for me personally, I felt like that also minimized my risk. It minimized my risk of baby mama drama in case something like that happened. It minimized my risk of jealousy and envy. So if I get with another girl and I, wife her up, which I did, I don't have girls coming through my inbox, coming through her inbox, all that kind of stuff. I never lied to any of them. I was just myself. And I feel like I got good results from that. But if you guys follow these red pill, especially black men, if you follow these red pill teachings, I will say you probably will have better you'll have better results when it comes to bagging women, but I don't think your relationships are going to get much better. You kind of, when you follow those methodologies and teachings, you kind of have no choice but to get away from women. And I just don't place things on a pedestal like that. Women are humans to me, and they're just my friends. If I don't get one, okay, fine. The only times I've ever personally had a problem with that is when I felt like I was deeply in love with a girl. Then I would start doing, like when I was younger, I would do that creeper shit where it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna just be your friend, and eventually we'll be together. That doesn't work like that. If you really want a girl like that, you gotta go get her. But that's the fun. That's a lot of fun. So, if you really think the friend zone exists, you're just kind of being delusional. You're just assuming what that other you don't know what that person's thinking. She could genuinely still like you. She just wants to talk to you a lot, at the same token, you really shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket with this girl anyway. Because at the same time I pursued those girls, it was kind of easy for me to be like, oh, what guy you're talking to? You're talking to this guy. Because it's like I'm talking to other girls, I mean, if you're going to be in that kind of lifestyle, just match it. You know what I'm saying? You will feel less, like when you increase your options, when a girl is talking to you about her options and, you like her and you want to bag her, but it may not be getting to that. You just don't care as much because it's just like, this isn't the only fish in this pond, So, reline your rod or something, dude. So, that's that. And I parlay that into choosing a good partner because I think if you practice choosing good friends, it's going to be much easier for you to choose a good partner. So, like, my partner right now, my fiance, she is a smart woman, a very hardworking woman, a forward thinker, someone who kind of like, she'll have an idea, she'll go through with it, and she'll just go through with it, and she's multi-talented, but the thing I like about her the most is her willingness to do things and to do different things and to not just have me do everything, And I was able to choose a woman like that because I select friends like that. Most of my friends are the kind of people that don't beg, and they work on themselves. And even if they may be a bit misguided, they either have dreams or they have visions, ethic, They're just not the kind of people that want to be bagged in one category. They don't want to be one kind of person. They have hobbies and expressions and everything like that. They're not going to let themselves just be defined from one characteristic. And I parlayed that into choosing my partner because, when you have good friends, you know who good people are. And when you know who good people are, you're going to be able to pick out your partner much more efficiently. The reason, my main feeling, the number one reason why most people have bad relationships is they actually have worse friends than they expect. I've talked to a lot of people before who have tried to date, right? And one of the most common things I've noticed is their relationships with their friends are either extremely superficial or they have a lot of friends who, they just, I wouldn't say they're horrible people, but they're not the best of people. They're not really supportive kind of friends. They're really flaky. They're really, again, superficial. They're not really trying to do much with their lives. And when they pick their partners, because I know for women, they're going to go what they're most socially comfortable with. And I know with men, we play the dating game much more of a crapshoot dice kind of style. We just kind of roll the dice and see what happens at the time. That's kind of how we play it. And I think when you have bad friends, it develops bad social habits in you. And when that's what you're used to, or what you expect, like for women, that's what you're used to, and for men, that's what you expect. It leads to bad partners because you're not really deviating from that or whatever. My girlfriend, I feel like I wouldn't really be attracted to her if I wasn't friends with the kind of people that I'm friends with, and I wasn't friends with the kind of girls that I'm friends with. Because that's the thing. Like, I'm gonna just tell you now, my body count's at 5. And I only, before my girlfriend, I had one girlfriend for a year. I kind of dated someone back in 8th grade, but that was like a summer thing. And I dated someone a month, almost like 3 years after I broke up with the girlfriend. I don't have dating experience. I really don't. I do not have any dating experience. Especially my fiance, we dated like basically after we met each other. So I'm not really proficient on dating experience. So the only real way I was ever going to really learn about women is by being friends with women. And I've been friends with many women. Again, body count's 5, so I'm not a hoe. But I have, from being friends with all these women and being in all these situations with them, it was, by the time I got to my fiance, I knew what I wanted, what I didn't want, and I knew how to. I knew I grew my sixth sense, that gut feeling that you need to have when it comes to meeting people and developing relationships. My sixth sense, my sixth sense, sense went off with her, and in my gut feeling, I felt like she was a good person. Because I was so used to being hurt, and that could be good for a story time in the future. That like I'm really perceptive on the kind of women that I know definitely would use me, but I knew she wouldn't, and she hasn't so far, and she's done a great job. And when I proposed to her, I have felt at that point I can trust her, and if there's consequences to that decision and things don't work out, I'm willing to accept that. But things are going to work out with me. And so whether you're a man or a woman, I really implore you, when you think about the kind of relationships you've been in, think a bit deeper and a bit close to home. It may not, because a lot of people tend to think it's them. For the most part, it is because they're the ones choosing. But a lot of more people, I think, tend to think that it's the people that they're coming in contact with who are kind of like bad and everything. When it's like you're not really perceptive enough to see that, because your own social circle, your own social circle is like that. So really look at your family, look at your friends. Ask yourself, are these people, should I really be hanging out with these people, or should I really pay attention to these people? Should I listen to these people? Because we're molded by our social groups. We're humans. That's how we work. That's how our psychology is. So if you're around bad people, you're probably gonna choose bad people. If you're around a lot of guys, girls that like to hoe it out, you might find a person with those traits pretty attractive. If you're in a nerdy kind of crowd, you find nerds attractive. That's how it's your in group. Who you date is really who you are to a degree. So that's kind of just what I wanted to come through with that. So yeah, just make as good of a choice as you can. Don't take until you're getting to the point where you want to marry somebody, or you're trying to be in a relationship. Don't take any of this stuff seriously. If a girl just wants to be friends with you, I mean, do you want to be friends back? Yeah, cool. Well, you got a friend. If you don't, well, it's not like they were that important in the first place. Same thing, ladies. If a guy isn't trying to commit to you, then you just got to cut it there. And if you want to get a guy to commit to you, then you gotta kind of, you can't. We're not in the era where you could just let the guy do all the work. You gotta push back a little bit, because like I said, you don't know what people are thinking. So if you really want a guy, to kind of go for you, you've gotta. You don't. I know you're uncomfortable with going all the way. You just give him some signals. Flirt with him a little bit. Call him cute in the morning. Shit. Yeah, if a girl, I guarantee you call a guy cute, or just give him a random compliment in the morning, when he wakes up, he is going to start thinking you like him. So, and if you're having trouble dating, again, don't take that too seriously. Just work on yourself. And make sure you're aware of the people you're surrounded with, and make sure you're aware of who you are, because you may fundamentally need to make a change to who you are to get the kind of people that you want. Because you want these people, so you gotta show why you gotta tell yourself, why do I deserve them? What makes me worth it to them? And then when you get to know them, what makes them worth it to you? But you got to start off with thinking that to yourself, because you're the one thinking of them first. But besides that, everyone just live your life, okay? Let go of all these serious men do this and women do that. It's billions and billions and billions of us, okay? There's going to be exceptions to the norm. Stay off of Twitter. Just use it to do retweets and to tweet funny, crazy stuff. And live your life, and have fun, and love your family, and survive the pandemic. Anyways, that's all for this video. Should I talk about Offset getting arrested next? Because that dude's an idiot. I might, but I don't want to turn into O'Shea Jackson. Shit. I don't know. Let's see how this election works. Go vote, I guess. But buy some Bitcoin. And with that, we're done with this episode. See you later.